another edition of Wrestling Sheet Radio. I'm your host, ProWrestlingSheet.com, Editor-in-Chief Ryan Satin, here with my special guest co-host today, Jay Washington.
Thank you for having me in. Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, no, it's funny. One of the fans of the show, Tanner, he tweeted me when I mentioned that Roka wasn't going to be on the show, and he's like, I hope that you have Jay Washington come in. And I was like, deal. I had already talked to Jay about it prior, but I was happy to get you in here because as for anyone who watched the SmackDown recap that I did without Roka, where I was just alone, it was rough. I was lost out here. I was right when Roka told me he wasn't gonna be able to be here. I was like, oh no. Oh,
and
man.
I think I had something to do because you did hit me up for it, and I had something I had to do. And I was like, I can't make it, unfortunately. And he was like, okay, we'll see if I get somebody else. The next thing I know, you were here doing it. Hey, it's me.
I asked so many people, and it was like, because it's tough. We were behind the curtain while we filmed this at 10 a.m. or whatever. So, most people are working. And Jay, luckily, has the ability to have a flexible schedule to do these kinds of things. He comes into Collider for other stuff as well. So it's nice. But a lot of people are like, my other co-hosts, they've got like full day jobs during the day. And they're like, dude, I can't come in at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, fuck. Like, Roka works here. He's allowed to just come back in here and do the show.
Just pull him out. Just come on in the studio real quick.
Yeah. And then for Wrestling Sheet Radio, I felt bad that I didn't do a show last week, but that was on me. That wasn't because everyone was full-time work. That was because I had something to do.
Yeah.
So I feel bad, but I'm glad you were able to step in so we didn't have to miss another show, because I was not going to do another one by myself.
I just would have loved to watch the torture in your face. I'm looking at the camera, so I'm here again.
I would have just pretended that you were here this time. That
would have been even worse.
Hopping back to that probably would have been, yeah.
Going back and forth seat to seat. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
Well, back when I was in Chicago and I was an independent wrestler.
And now I'm doing it in SoCal, and this scene is so much different. So much different.
Yeah, Mark, who owns Collider, he was impressed with some of the wrestling videos you posted.
Yeah.
He talked to me about it yesterday when he saw you were going to be here.
Hey, man, I keep telling everybody I'm way lighter. Being 140, 150 pounds lighter makes you lighter on your feet, more agile than you've already been. And so it feels good being back in the ring.
Good.
Now I want to do more things. All the things.
All of them. Give them to me. Well, let's get into the things on SmackDown Live. I was a big fan of last night's show. I thought they've had a really... I thought this entire week of programming was a pretty solid week of programming from WWE.
I think Raw was a great program. You and I talked about that. I think SmackDown had a great start, but tapered off towards the end.
Okay.
I feel that the kickoff with New Day and the FTRKO, then the interjection with Brock at the end, everything was beautiful. How long before Brock has to cut off his beard and mustache?
Oh, don't.
What's the over and under amount of days?
I'll be honest with you. I had the same thought because he does this all the time.
He comes in
with it, and you go like, oh, is he bringing that Viking beard back? Because he looks like such a badass when he has that Viking beard.
And Viking beard to be gone before October 4th.
I know, dude. I thought the same thing because I was like, oh, Viking beard, hell yeah. But I get tricked every time he does it. It's literally just they called Brock at the last minute, and he just didn't feel like shaving.
Well, from what I was reading, this has been planned for the longest.
I think it has been.
But Brock was like, I'm not shaving.
Yeah, but they can have things planned for the longest and still not necessarily like they hit up Brock and he's like, oh, is it September 17th already? Damn.
Okay.
Well, I don't like shaving today, but I'll roll over there.
I just got my flight itinerary, Paul. Like, I'm supposed to leave out in the morning.
Isn't that next month? Like, he's like, I got deer to hunt today or whatever he's doing out in Canada.
But that started off so hot.
Yeah.
Because I love the whole I love Kofi Kingston as champion for several reasons, and one primarily is that I can stand on my own. The fact he's sitting back.
Well, before we fully get into that,
okay,
let's cover the stuff that happened before, because I do want to have a full discussion on that conversation. We'll do the match. So the show starts, like you said, New Day versus FTRKO. What'd you think about that match?
It was a solid match. Mm-hmm. I like how we've always talked about this. When Randy Orton wants to play, he will play, and he loves to play with these guys. He's having fun in the ring with them again. This isn't a Randy Orton that's phoning it in. This is a Randy Orton that's like, all right, we can work. And probably having his family there ringside may have pushed a little bit over, but he's having fun, and all the guys work together greatly. You know, they kept selling the Xavier Woods knee. The Revival kept doing what the Revival does. Nobody steered away or shot away from who they are or what they are.
Yeah, they got a full 17 minutes here. They got
a full match. There was no. If we're gonna do the Brock thing, we're gonna do it afterwards. We're not gonna do a run in and have it stop the match. You're gonna get a full match. And it ends in a beautiful fashion. There's no trickery. Kofi Kingston goes over SOS on Scott Dawson, as it should. And because now you've eliminated this Randy Orton feud. You killed it.
You think it's done out here? Because I felt like with this, they did a good job of not making the Orton feud feel too secondary in what's going on. Is that like they gave him a 17-minute match so that Randy Orton would be like, we're still in a feud here. Like that's one episode.
I agree with that, but think about it. They said it. Tom Phillips even said it. He closed the door on that rivalry. You've had the two matches. You had the SummerSlam match, then you had the rematch.
Clash champion, yeah.
Right. You can't win after that. So there's no reason to do a rubber match, in a sense.
Okay.
There's no reason to. So now Randy Orton has to work his way back up the proverbial ladder to a championship opportunity.
See,
now, they may or may not do this.
well, here's the thing.
Because I don't think they're going to have Orton interfere in this Brock host program.
I don't either, but although they do have history with the whole elbow thing.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do.
However, it is a tricky situation because Hell in a Cell is 2 days after the premiere on Fox. So that's like a weird balance there. Is that like, does that mean Kofi's not going to defend the title at Hell in a Cell? I feel like the reason there's this balancing act going on is because
now it becomes a triple threat at Hell in a Cell.
Not necessarily a triple threat, but I don't know this. Obviously, this is just my guess. I feel like Kofi's gonna win.
I think Kofi's gonna win because you can't just have Brock in because it's always that automatic. Of course, Brock's coming in.
Of course, he had to have Brock be on Fox.
He's gonna take the title. I do believe Kofi's winning this match, but I hope they don't do the rematch that quick 2 days later. If they do, I hope he still keeps it.
I think what I could see happening is he beats Brock after a dope match.
Yeah.
He beats Brock, and then it gets announced. The Orton match gets announced for Hell in a Cell after that. Well, Kofi's also gonna
yeah.
And then at Hell in a Cell, Brock comes out, and it's not even a Hell in a Cell match. It's just Brock versus Orton, and Brock comes out pissed that he lost to Fox, and just destroys maybe both of them or one, if not both of them,
and then sets up for Survivor Series a triple threat. Okay, I can go with that.
Or even just Brock versus Kofi at Survivor. Oh no, because at Survivor Series it's gonna be champ versus champ. So it would be, in my mind, Fiend.
You know, it really confuses me again with how they keep doing Survivor Series now, because we've gone from brand versus brand, which in all rights that's what it should go back to, especially this year. There's always one brand versus brand match.
Yeah, but also that's a good point because I didn't think about it, but this is going to be not long after
the
this draft, which they're clearly making a point to say.
This is exclusivity.
We're
These
putting
are separate
a line
shows.
in the sand. These are separate
shows,
separate storylines,
yeah.
separate everything, separate teams behind the scenes.
Everything.
Does that mean they're going to have separate pay-per-views again? Because they haven't said that.
Hell no, they're not.
They can't do that.
They won't.
If that's the case, they can't all have the same pay-per-views.
They can. They can. Again, they were joint. They'll just start calling them joint pay-per-view
super shows or whatever.
Yeah, they'll be called. Because remember,
does that mean NXT will be included?
I think that's a whole different ball. I know
it's confusing.
I don't think it's confusing as far as NXT, because I think NXT is still NXT no matter what. It's no matter what. It's still NXT.
You would think they'd include one or two matches though. If it's super shows, they would include maybe one or two NXT matches. You know, I heard Johnny Gargano talking on Chasing Glory podcast with Lillian Garcia that I've been listening to this week, and he talked about how, like, you know, it was his dream growing up, obviously, to have a WrestleMania moment, but now he enjoys being in NXT so much that he would be totally cool with and just having his whole career finish out in NXT. But he was also saying that he hopes that in building up the NXT brand that they could hopefully, just like Raw and SmackDown, be included in WrestleMania, and he could still have a WrestleMania moment under the NXT umbrella.
I can see a WrestleMania moment. I can see that. I can definitely see that.
But in order to get there, you have to have all of them on the pay-per-view.
You don't. You don't. You don't. I think, because the thing, we're really like, you don't. You can have, this brand makes its debut on cable network television. It makes its rounds. All of a sudden they want this spotlight. They have an NXT match. Yeah, they'll have TakeOver the night before, of course, or the night prior to the Hall of Fame. But then they do have the one match that is on WrestleMania to give them a WrestleMania moment, because again, it helps push up NXT as well. You do that. But when we're going back to Survivor Series, when we go back to all this, I don't think they'll be included. I do think, however, this triple threat sounds nice.
It does.
Well, here's why. Because I think you can do it. Because I don't think they'll do champion versus champion. Because I do believe The Fiend will beat Seth Rollins. He has to. You cannot have him go in Hell in a Cell. And I get Seth Rollins is on this Beast Slayer, Monster Slayer role.
Can't have him.
You can't have him beat The Fiend. But this way you keep Fiend versus Seth Rollins rematch for WrestleMania. I mean, not WrestleMania, excuse me, Survivor Series. And then you can potentially build that triple threat if they go that route with Kofi, Brock, and Orton at Survivor Series.
If they are doing the champ versus champ thing at Survivor Series, though,
I want to see Kofi Kingston get his ass whooped, and you would never hear me say that any other time.
I actually was going to say it's the one instance where I think I'd be okay with Brock beating Kofi for the title beforehand.
Just to have to go into with The Fiend?
So it's Brock versus The Fiend.
Yeah, because if Kofi does it, I would love to see Kofi beat The Fiend. Don't get me wrong. But I still want to see The Fiend beat.
Hey, don't get me wrong. Hey, you know.
Because it's just been something, this character has been so great.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to this thing, and I know, again, this is about SmackDown. We're talking about this joint pay-per-view that it's just so much. Can we talk about SmackDown? Because my brain will
Trust me. Honestly, all these things make my brain want to explode too, because I'm like, I just want to know how it's all going to work out. Even yesterday, like at such a minute level, was Thad came to me and he's like, hey man, I've seen all these commercials on TV. I've seen all the advertisements on sports. I'm very aware that like a lot of wrestling changes are happening in the future. He was like, are you changing your schedule? Like, you might. I feel like you're gonna have to change your schedule, aren't you? And I was like, yeah, I am. I just never wanted to talk to you about it. And he was like, no, I get it. I know there's like a lot of other shows in the studio and stuff. And I was like, honestly, just trying to figure out what my schedule will be in order to do recaps and cover AEW and NXT and do my normal Wrestling Sheet radio show. I'm like, it's like overwhelming.
Let me tell you something. I don't get paid for none of this. So I wouldn't be figuring out any schedule. No, I'm just. I do understand that it's going to get real difficult in October.
Yes, that's really what it is.
It's not this week, and it's just October once AEW and SmackDown hits Fox. That's when everything changes, because now your wrestling is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Mm-hmm. And we don't know the day. We don't know when Impact is going to be if people decide to cover Impact. So it's
how do you put that little if in there?
I mean, everybody's like, it's going to Axis. It's still Impact. I love the guys. I got a lot of friends on the roster, and they know it's Impact. But sorry, but I feel like it's going to be hard to try to. If you do the every other day thing, the problem becomes Friday night. Mm-hmm. How do you go to a Saturday recap? You have to do pretty much a Monday morning thing for SmackDown, because that's
Aaron Turner brought up a good point that I'm maybe thinking of doing. That was the first person to mention that. I was like, that could solve things. Is doing a watch along for SmackDown.
You might have to,
because I'm here. I could be here in the office anyway, 5 to 8, like 5 to 7.
Yeah, especially, and that's the thing, because the West Coast, we get it early.
So I technically can be here at 5 on a Friday.
So I don't think that would be a bad idea. If you're gonna do a watch along this way, when it comes back to Monday, all you have to cover is potentially a pay-per-view.
And I don't even do pay-per-view recaps. So,
well, see, and then that's done.
So I really just want to I like doing the TV show recaps, just because I would do pay-per-view recaps if I had the time and the manpower in here.
Absolutely.
But I don't want it to be like that SmackDown recap where I was sitting here alone going like, so
I watched the pay-per-view during this match.
Rowan, cool.
I still feel that way about Erick Rowan. Cool. we can talk about it later. I just have to say, I get it. There's some people that don't need to talk. He is one of them. He's one of them. There's a reason.
I actually disagree with you. So let's
okay,
curb that one.
We'll go.
We'll curb that one first. But first, let's get back to SmackDown. So New Day wins. I like the finish. I like the match, to be honest with you.
Yes, I love the match.
Like we said, they went long. Very good match.
Everybody got their good shine on it. It worked.
Totally. And then, like you said, Brock Lesnar comes out. He tells Kofi, he says...
No, he doesn't tell anything.
Paul says that, he's challenging Kofi to the debut episode on Fox of SmackDown on October 4th. And Kofi basically says that, when he won the title, he promised to be a fighting champion. So because of that, he accepts. I loved all of this.
I just wonder if back in Kofi's mind, he really was like, hell no, you can't get a title shot. You better go get a line. Just jumping up. Because that was another thing. Because AJ Styles, remember at the last pay-per-view, said Braun Strowman got a title match by simply looking at the belt.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman came in and just said, Brock gets a title shot. If I'm Kofi, I'm like, didn't you see what happened on Raw? Besides, take his big ass in the back, because I don't want Brock to be one of the people. Look, I understand I beat Randy Orton. I've beat all these comers I've had on SmackDown. Brock Lesnar comes, and yeah, when he had the Money in the Bank, he was like, cool, let him run up. That is a whole different ball game now. Somebody who just sitting around and just walks in.
Like you don't have to say yes.
You don't have to say.
But see, I actually, and I agree with you. If it were me, I'd be like, did you win a #1 contenders match? Hey Shane, where are you at? Laters, walking away.
It could have happened after he did the F5. After the F5, would have said, okay, Brock.
But see, I actually liked that wasn't what it was, because I actually feel like Kofi is one of the few champions that they've had of recent memory where like the legacy factor is so important to him.
I can understand that.
They showed him in Ghana with crowds of people behind him. Like he's had to take down all these big competitors in the ring. That he has become someone that people look up to.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I kind of like that he wasn't a bitch. That he was like, that he took it.
It ain't no bitch if it's self-preservation.
True. but I like that he took internalized it. Was like, you know what? The only way that legacy is continued, the only way I become, in the history books forever is beating people like Brock Lesnar. And so I kind of like that it was like, cool, done. And Brock was like, this chump.
Just walk
pizza
in,
toss you.
and I'm like, okay, that for me, I get the legacy issue.
Yeah.
I get the respect factor, because again, when you look at it month-wise, it's only been 5 months.
Yeah, totally.
If that, 5-6 months, because it was March. WrestleMania was in March, right?
No, April.
April. 5 months since his title reign. But because he's had so many matches for that title, it seems so much longer. So it's like, okay, are we trying to get him to the yearly mark? Or are we just like, he's run through enough, he's established he is a legit champ. He's not a paper champ by any means. But then we like, hey, we know we have to have Brock. He's this money, he's this big prize ticket. And I get that. I completely understand. He's a big prize ticket. You put him on TV, fans can go on the internet and say what they want, but nonetheless, people tune in, people buy tickets to see that man, whether you like it or not. But if I'm Kofi Kingston, I'm talking to Vince and like, can we work up to this or something? So like I can do some stuff.
I think we are getting a year reign. I think we're gonna get WrestleMania to WrestleMania for Kofi Kingston.
I hope so.
And I feel like he beats Brock, and then those two have a feud for the next 6 months that leads to WrestleMania, where it's
Brock finally takes it,
and Brock takes it.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
If that be the case, I honestly have no complaint behind it.
I mean, like what I wanted was to my actual want was I wanted Kofi to take it to Mania and have Big E win the Royal Rumble. Not a turn, but have Big E win the Royal Rumble.
And just have to go against each other.
And just New Day versus, not in a negative way.
No. I know, yeah.
Power of positivity, but where they just go head to head and Big E wins in a
clean
fashion, and they just together raise the hand up, and now the torch gets passed to Big E for the next year of now it's your turn.
I like Ryan Satin's thinking, ladies and gentlemen.
That is what I want to see happen. That's what I personally want to see happen.
But everybody keeps saying Big E with the turn. I'm like,
I hate that.
Yeah, I don't. That
doesn't promote what they've been all about this whole time.
No, that takes positivity, the power of positivity completely out the windows. That means all those pancakes have been bought for nothing.
Nothing. No, I'm glad we're on the same page there. That's exactly how I feel about the situation. I also think it was very, very smart to have Brock Lesnar versus Kofi as the main event of the first match on SmackDown's debut on Fox.
Again, just said it. Big prize guy. People are going to tune in to see this.
I don't think he's wrestled on TV in I don't think
it's his first match on SmackDown in 15 years.
That's crazy.
He's been on Raw.
Has he wrestled on Raw though? Because I saw someone point out, and I could be wrong, but I saw someone on Twitter, and I could totally be wrong, but someone on Twitter said this is his first TV match since he's come back.
I think it is.
It might be his first TV
match. It is.
He's been back for a long time. I say he came back a long time.
It is his first TV match.
I don't think he's wrestled on Raw either.
Because he's only been, his contract stated he only would wrestle at times on pay-per-views. He would do appearances on Raw.
He comes out, he builds it on Raw. He comes out, he'll attack someone.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's wrestled on TV in forever.
Hey,
right?
Get mad at Vince McMahon for certain things if you want to. That is a smart move.
I agree.
And clearly Brock's contract is worth a lot of money for him to say, I got it.
Back when he was Money in the Bank when he was holding the Money in the Bank, I predicted it then. I was like, dude, he should hold it and he should cash in on the very first episode, or at least say, I'm cashing in during the first episode on Fox.
I wanted him to hold it the year.
I would have been cool with that too.
Once he found out that he could hold it a year,
when he got
he was like, I wanted Brock to hold it that year because as much as it annoys people, think how much it annoys you when every week you're like, is Brock gonna pop up?
Yep.
Is Brock gonna pop up? Because that's all you're watching it for. Because you're like, is it gonna happen?
Like the Fiend now. You're like, is the Fiend gonna pop up?
Yep. So,
totally agree with you. So I think that was very smart of them, even though they didn't do it with the Money in the Bank, to have made that the decision, because that's gonna be. It's going to be a huge deal. And that's going to be a very cool first episode. I'm very excited for that in LA, so we'll get to see that too.
I'm hoping I can get tickets and or become extra security. If y'all need some background security, WWE, look, you use
y'all need a security guard to have Luke Harper get big booted.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'll Claymore kick the shit out of Harper. They'd be like, when does security get training? 6 hours before the match.
All right, so then we had Sasha Banks doing a backstage promo. By the way, this is all the recap that I'm reading from is from ProWrestling.net. Usually Roka does his own kind of notes from watching the show, but I didn't have time to do that. And I love the people at ProWrestling.net for the most part. So good website. That's where I'm reading the recaps. They do great results on most of all the shows. Very reliable source for that kind of thing. So Sasha Banks was backstage, asked about Becky and Charlotte, said she's the star of the division, and accepted Becky's challenge for a Hell in a Cell match. Which doesn't make any sense because she threw out the challenge, didn't she?
Becky threw it out.
Didn't Sasha throw it out, saying like, fight me at Hell in a Cell, bitch, or something like that? And
I probably missed that on Raw.
Maybe I'm wrong. I could totally be wrong.
Yeah, I might have missed it. I might
totally
have
missed it. And this says I'm wrong, so I'm gonna guess I'm wrong. So then Bailey comes in and said she would answer all the questions about Charlotte Flair in the ring. And then we cut to a backstage interview with Rowan, which is what you want to talk about. Rowan seems happy that Cole knew his name. He says that he told Cole the attacks on Reigns were meant to scare him and show him that his perceived dominance is only an illusion. He called himself overlooked and underappreciated, and most of all, disrespected. And then he said that WWE Universe, Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan all thought of him as a grunt in the background, but he's more than that. He's a schemer, he's a leader, and he didn't want to talk about Harper. They asked about Harper. He said,
ask Luke Harper about Luke Harper.
Yeah, Luke Harper will talk for himself. And then he said he would never allow anyone to disrespect him.
Here's where I brought up earlier about certain people don't need to speak. There are certain behemoths who their presence is imposing, and I understand Erick Rowan has been this presence for the longest, and you see him and you're just like, all right. It wasn't until the Daniel Bryan thing, even with the Bludgeon Brothers, we still focus more on Harper.
Yep.
But with the Daniel Bryan thing, you looked at him more seriously. I feel like he doesn't need to have to be this articulate spoken person. Say a few words at a time, and you still show your dominance. Because Luke Harper probably won't speak.
Maybe not. I don't know.
He probably not. We'll see.
I hope he does. I don't think he's that bad on the mic.
No, Brody is amazing on the mic. He's amazing on the mic. Let me make sure I clarify that. It's just that this persona, I get what you're trying to show. I'm smart. I'm smart. I can do these plans, but still keep him as this monster no matter what. And sometimes I feel he's trying to get comfortable with talking on the mic now.
That's kind of how I get the exact same vibe that like they're trying to get him to flex that muscle to see if he has it. And while I agree with you, I don't hate that he's talking so much now because he's been so quiet for so long.
Okay.
Like and this is just me, but like I talk so much, and I know you're probably on the similar wavelength where like I couldn't imagine being quiet that long.
Oh man, I used to do oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Let me tell you something about the promos I did with the Soul Touchers, where it had to be just C-Red, Willie, and Marshadam talking, and I'm in the back. I'm like, y'all gonna let me say something. But no, I understand. No, and I get it. I completely do. You're a talent. You want to show your talent. You want to show you're here for a reason.
And that you're not just, for lack of a better term, someone's muscle.
Yeah, you're not just a heavy.
Yeah.
And I'm completely understanding of that. It's just that like you said, he hasn't talked, but I feel like when the first time he speaks, you want him speaking to be something that just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like the first time he spoke when it was on SmackDown, when he started talking everything, it was like, this is a regular guy talking, trying to be angry, which I get it, but when we're talking about the sports entertainment world, the over-exaggeration of things, there are things we should have seen more out of that. That is, again, my perspective.
No, it makes sense.
You know, so.
I did like them giving him a backstage sit down only because they can produce it a little better.
Oh yeah, they can actually go back and
they can go back and be like, hey, this, change that. He can be produced.
Oh yeah.
You know, as opposed to in the ring where he's just kind of winging it, you know?
Which, by the way, I want to talk about another backstage thing that's produced. It's not probably on your rundown, but we need to talk about the AOP. Can we not have them do the Aleister Black thing?
That's funny. I said the same thing to Roka, that it was very Aleister Black-like.
Can we please have them not do it? We're going to find a fight.
But I did like the vignette. I didn't like the similarity of...
Yeah, that's the whole part. That's my only issue. The whole Aleister Black, we're looking for a fight. Who's going to fight us?
Yeah.
Because the only people that could legitimately stand up to AOP are the Viking Raiders.
Yes.
And maybe the OC.
Maybe they'll have heavy machinery too. Because the OC are kind of bad guys.
Yeah, that's true. The OC are heels.
And I'm also not sure what show AOP are on. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter because the draft is going to come up and then they'll finalize it then.
Smart. Here's another thing. And I know we got to go on.
That's okay.
The fact that everybody finally re-signed these deals.
I know.
Everybody finally was like, you need me that bad, don't you? Okay. Because
I don't think they've all re-signed though. Like I don't know if Rusev has re-signed or if he just came back.
First of all, let me just tell you this: Rusev lives down the street from where they were filming. He lives in that area, so it wasn't that far for him to come to work to do much. But as far as Harper, he re-signed.
Yeah, he must have re-signed.
That's
well,
not,
I wouldn't say that, no, because
you're gonna say that they did that and that's not a re-sign.
The only thing I would say is that. And this is just my guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is totally my guesswork. But if he was having trouble getting released like he wanted to,
I go back on TV.
They could say, no, we're freezing your contract because you're refusing to work. And he goes, no, just let me out. And they go, no, not only that, but remember when you were out for 6 months? We also tacked that on. So he's like, shit, the only way I'm going to get out of my contract
is I have to work.
Is if I go back to work. And he has to tell them, and it's very possible that he goes, okay, fine, don't want my release, want to go back to work.
And then all of a sudden his contract is up.
And then but they could say, well, shit, now that he has said that, now the clock's back up. So now we're paying him to do nothing. Like now we are paying him to do nothing, you know? And there's nothing that can be done about it. But in this sense, they're like, well, everyone loves him so much, like, bring him back to TV. That's what I honestly think happened, is that like, he finally said, okay, fine. Don't want my release. And they were like, cool, we're gonna put you to work.
That works. If that be the case, that works. I'm sitting there, I'm looking up people thinking like, okay, that works. That makes sense.
I've been trying to put all these things together.
Yeah, because it was just like I got when all of a sudden I knew the Fox thing was coming, and we'd heard of the draft happening, but when they finally made it official, it was like, okay, now you're bringing everybody back who was holding out or you didn't have anything to do with them just yet.
Yep.
So we'll see. I mean, but the thing is, too, this is the weird thing about the Harper Rowan situation. The last time we saw them together, they were known as the Bludgeon Brothers.
Yes.
They were
and only one name. Now they both got their full names.
Now
back.
they got their full, which by the way is great.
Yes.
Thank you for that one.
Thank you. That was annoying, only calling them one name.
But they got their names back, but they're not. Are they the Bludgeon Brothers? Are they not?
Well, it was funny too because they were doing, and we'll get to the end. But they did all their Bludgeon Brother moves. Yeah, I thought the same thing. But I will say this: if they are going to be Bludgeon Brothers. Because I don't think they're going to be carrying around the hammers anymore. I think they realized that Rowan got way more over just wearing metal shirts than he was in like a huge hammer in this ominous hood
and some camouflage
and
pants. They work.
Yeah, they still kept the camouflage pants.
And some hunter pants. Yeah, they work.
They kept those still. But I think that I'm hoping that they noticed that like it was working better when they just let Rowan be a normal guy.
Yeah.
So I am hoping that it's somewhere in the middle because the Bludgeon Brothers were dope.
They had cool moves. I took nothing from them. They're just saying the gimmick.
Yeah.
It's the gimmick that we just we legit had the reason Erick Rowan is Erick Rowan now was because Luke Harper was gone. They weren't the Bludgeon Brothers. And then when you saw them, you're like, are they gonna come back bludgeoning? And they're not bludgeoning, but they're bludgeoning-esque.
They're very bludgeon-esque, very much so. The Bludgeon Brothers music was dope.
It was terrifying.
Yeah. So honestly, I hate Erick Rowan's new music. They might as well put the xylophone music back.
Look, CFO $sign was like, you need something? There you go. Between him and Chad Gable, they have the most generic, this person may not last on the roster interest music.
I actually kind of like Chad Gable's music, but the Rowan one,
the xylophone one was beyond terrible.
I used to do Ryback's podcast every week, and I still do it sometimes, but he talks about how because Ryback's music was dope. I loved Ryback's music. And he said that one time he had to wrestle like a 6-man tag with Erick Rowan. And as they were about to go out, they played Rowan's music. And everyone looked around like, how are we supposed to get hyped up? Because this is the worst trash theme song. And Rowan was all embarrassed too because he knows theme songs suck. And so it's a running joke between Ryback and I that I know how much he hates Rowan's theme. He says he buries that theme song so hard every time it comes up. And so when Rowan got new theme music the other day, I texted him and I was just like, new theme music for Rowan, ... still sucks. And he just laughed. He was like, oh man, poor guy.
I just want to know what Rowan's face got to be like. Like you're in Gorilla. Your music plays, and you just gotta have the saddest face ever in the back, looking at Vince like, can I please?
Especially because the Bludgeon Brothers music was dope.
Right, you're like
they finally gave him a cool theme,
and then you're like,
nope.
Vince, please
let me have the metal back.
And Vince is just pointing, you need to be out. Vince, please. And that's why he's mean in the face when he comes down. He's like, this music. I want a wrestler to come out one time and just say, I hate my entrance. I don't care if you think you like it. I hate it.
All right, so next we had Sami Zayn come out. He had his neck brace thing on. He talks about Ali's already in the ring, and he talks about how Ali already defeated Nakamura a few weeks ago, but then he said that Nakamura is not the man that he is now. Now he's with me. It's different. It's a totally different person that he is with him now. And then it's all basically a setup that he grabs Ali's legs, Sami Zayn, and it lets Nakamura hit the Kinshasa in the back of his head, and then they walk away. My favorite part of this segment was when Sammy was screaming, Kinshasa! And then on commentary, Graves just said, couldn't have said it any better myself.
I watched with the closed captioning on purpose.
Okay, good.
When Sami Zayn was saying Kinshasa, all the closed captions said was screaming. I think all this is literally. I think Shinsuke's so cool because he's cashing out. He understands why he's here. I think Shinsuke's gonna put Ali over for this title.
I can see that. Although Cape Nakamura is pretty cool right now. That cape is pretty fly.
Which, by the way, I get it. I was like, yo, what about this cape? Did somebody show me his New Japan stuff where he wore a cape?
Yeah.
But that ain't the same cape.
No, it's not. This is definitely like a dollar store cape where it's much, but I still love it.
Somebody was just like, put this on.
It was literally looked like he was like in the supply closet of like old costumes and was like, And like it was like a costume, like a closet filled with old Rosebud outfits, and was like, that's a good cape. I like that. And he just put it on. He was like, and he kind of like did it in the mirror. Was like, that's pretty fly. Because I remember when I was in high school, the drama room used to have like closets that had like old blazers that they could use in the school plays as like costumes. And when no one was around, I'd like open it and like, that's a cool blazer. Like I was shopping in a thrift store and just take one or two and just start wearing it like it was my jacket. So I feel like that's probably what he did.
But I also, as much as I laugh about the cape and everything, it works with the gimmick, with the music and everything. The cape works with the rock and roll gimmick. But I will say, Sami Zayn gets annoyed. I'm glad they cut off his mic on Raw. But it's like, I get what you're doing, bro. Shut down. If I was the Miz, I'd have yelled out during Clash Champions, you don't shut the hell up, I'm trying to work. Like,
it's a bit much.
It's a bit much.
Yeah.
I get what you're doing. I get the purpose of it, but it becomes over.
Yes.
Overdone. Like, stop.
Yes. And you know what, with Nakamura, everyone has that one friend who can like take some weird style choice and just like, if they own it,
which is Shinsuke Nakamura.
That's what he's doing, yeah. If they own it, then there's nothing that anyone can say.
How do you convince Shinsuke we need you to wear a tight leather zip-up jacket?
He's like, cool.
And then just say,
like, cool, I'll do it.
And I'll just unzip it a bit. just make it comfortable. It works with Shinsuke.
Yes.
It works.
Yes. Okay, so then we see Kevin Owens walk out. He's in the audience. They show Shane backstage, and he sees that Kevin Owens there. And I love that the referee John Cone walks in, and he's like, "Hey, there's someone here to see you." By the way, Kevin Owens is also here. Shane just goes, "Yeah."
But it worked. They did so certain things, little things they did in this segment, in all these segments with the Kevin Owens Shane McMahon thing, made me very happy because there are times they have not done that. For Shane to be like, "Yes, I'm watching it right now."
Yes.
It was meant to be like, because sometimes they don't do that.
No, it's like we're watching. You're like
we're watching. We see you watching it. Yeah. Like you're watching it right now. So yes, I would have loved it. That envelope had way more papers in it though.
And also wasn't like yellow for some reason. Like
what?
It was like it got printed on like funny paper at the store, like Kinko's.
Who went to FedEx Kinko's?
Exactly.
Vince was like, print out some legal documents. Get whatever paper they say is good and legal. And somebody went in there and was like, look, I'm working for WWE. I need you to have something that's gonna pop out. And they was like, we got the best paper for you.
It's bright yellow.
It's bright yellow. Don't worry, it'll look great on camera. And they're like, Vince, I got it right here. Never opened up the envelope. Because Vince wasn't there this week. They said Vince was, but they opened it up and was like, I got it right here, Eric. I got it.
I got it right here, Eric. Mr. Bischoff, it's right here.
Mr. Bischoff, it's right here. And then,
for some reason, it's like a paper boy running in my mind. Mr. Bischoff, got your papers.
I got your papers. I have your papers. I have your papers, Mr. Bischoff. But I like that segment, how he goes to the ring. And the one thing I like what he did was he told Kevin come to the ring and made sure he said, let him through.
Yes.
Because normally we'll tell them to come to the ring if they bought it. They just jump. Because by all regards in the storyline, you don't work there anymore. If you jump the ring, you're supposed to get your ass whooped.
Yes, you're supposed to have that big buff lady come in and tackle your ass.
Right, which is terrifying to hear. Like, it's terrifying to have a big buff dude do it, but big buff woman means she got more to prove to show you she can whoop your ass. But so when
she got Rob Gronkowski, she's gonna mess you up.
Yeah, but so they did that to make sure, the whole, everything is legit believable. Give him a mic. Because normally it's just handing him a mic.
Yep.
Give him a mic, let him through. He's okay. Those things worked for me. It's small little details when you do that. Because again, it's pro wrestling, but at the same time, it's TV.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. This segment for me. So Shane's in the ring, tells Owens to come in like Jay just said. Security lets him through, and he says that the papers that he was given were unlawful termination suit that would award Kevin Owens $25 million if he wins. Shane said that Owens' case was weak, even though he hadn't read the documents. But Owens said he had a strong case and called him a dumbass, which I did laugh at because the dumbass line it popped me. It's a word that like you don't hear too much on like WWE TV.
And when you hear it, you're like, this was earned.
Yeah. A lot of times it's like, bitch, that's the one they go to. But I like that dumbass was just like very to the point. But so he says, calls him a dumbass. And he said that, and he tries to lay out his case. And I really want to read this because he laid out his case. And okay,
yeah, go ahead, say it. No, go ahead.
One, none of the things he laid out were wrongful termination worthy. Like you could, the things he laid out were not wrongful termination worthy whatsoever. And two, it's not badass at all to hear two guys discussing the merits of a case on TV. It's not like the most badass thing to hear being like, you've got a case. No, you've got a case. No, I've got a case. No, he's got a case.
I'm gonna sue you.
Yeah. Like most people hate lawyers. When they hear the term lawyer, they go, oh, assholes that are trying to ruin people's lives. And now you got two people who are like, oh, I'm gonna sue you, but I didn't even read this. Well, I've got a case that doesn't make sense. And it was like, I don't know if this is like the way to get Kevin Owens to be the man of the people. Like when he called Shane a dumbass, that was the best part of this.
But then he had to tell people, hold on, I'll get to it. When they were chatting to you tapped out.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll get to it. Because it basically was, hold on, I got a bunch of stuff the writing team told me I had to say.
Yeah, totally.
Just please, just get there. Because you know that's all it was. It was like, they said I had to bring up this. The points he made were great. Was like,
I felt like they were terrible points.
When he said, you fined me for hitting an official in our match.
Yes.
But what did you do? And again, the wording.
Point-wise, it made sense, but that's not a grounds for wrongful termination suit.
No, I agree. I didn't say that. I just said the wording. I didn't say nothing about the lawsuit.
But the wording, you're right. Yes. What he said made sense.
And then to go into the whole, I'll sue you for $25 million. This is Shane McMahon. That does not hurt him. I just want people to understand this real quick. $25 million, no matter how it sounds to the average person, does not hurt Shane McMahon. But then to say, I'm gonna say you're fired, huh?
Oh yeah, I left out that ridiculous part of things. When he said, and then if I win my wrongful termination lawsuit, I get to stand here in the ring and say you're fired. What? Again. When would that, like my dad, and he's gonna hate that I said this, but my dad has a TV show, and the premise, it's called he's gonna be so mad that I don't know the name.
Now you know, your dad's gonna be mad about the show you don't know what it is.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Mr. Box Office. So he has a show on TV called Mr. Box Office, and the premise of the show is that this famous actor got in trouble by the law, and Mr. Box Office, he got in trouble by the law, and his sentence is that he has to go be a school teacher in like the hood for.
I think I remember this show.
It's with Bill Bellamy.
Yeah, I remember this show.
And
it was on Bounce TV, I think.
Probably. It's on it's syndicated in random zones.
Yeah, Bounce TV.
And I always thought to myself, that would never happen. A judge would never say your sentence
is to go
work as a teacher in a school. But hey, they've been on for a few seasons. Like people love the show. And it works. But like the premise, actually, like that doesn't make any sense. And that was kind of me with this. I went like, what judge would ever be like, okay, here's your $25 million, and you get to humiliate that bastard on live television.
Here's your $25 million. Also, the next time you guys are on Fox, okay, the following Friday after this, you're going to make sure you go to the ring, tell the producers backstage what you're going to do. Go to the ring, have them cue up your music. You're going to say some things, have them cue up Shane's music. Shane, you're going to come out there, because this is in a judgment. You're going to come out, you're going to stand in the ring, you're going to look like you're sniveling. And Kevin, you're going to go ahead and you're going to say the words that Shane's father has made famous. You're fired. Then Shane, you're gonna lose your job right there, and you're gonna be like, "Well, wait! I'm a big man," and
then the crowd's gonna start chanting, "Na na 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 na," and then he just starts banging his gavel. Okay, case closed. Get out of here. Next case, you sir, murder victim. Okay, like you know.
I think we need to. I wish. Shane should just instantly blown this off. Say, you know what? You have a job, just not here. Go to NXT. Call it a day, because we're dragging out this feud.
I agree.
It's unnecessary.
That's how every Shane feud has been. They just take it too far.
Yeah,
like, too long.
Too long.
No one needs to see Shane be the one who's in these prolonged feuds.
When Kevin Owens said yes, and that's another problem. Kevin Owens is the main one who has, what he even said in his promo, I went on TV and said what everybody in the back and in the WWE universe was thinking. Yeah, you're on TV too much. Guess what, Kevin? You're helping prolong him being on TV too much. And I understand this is not your call. This is the booker's call. This is the production. This is Vince's final. This is everything has to be VKM approved. I get that. But Shane McMahon does not need to have a program.
No.
He doesn't.
No, don't need it. Hopefully it goes away soon. Hopefully. I don't think it will, but who knows? We'll see once Fox starts. Maybe there will be some change. We'll see.
Oh, God. Shane, you've been drafted to the WWE headquarters.
So yeah, we see the AOP promo again. Owens leaves through the crowd, sorry. Then we see the AOP promo again. Then we get Offset wearing a Ric Flair robe in the ring. Gives Charlotte Flair an introduction. You feel like you're putting your head down here.
I get it.
Oh, no.
However, make sure he says Charlotte Flair.
Oh, what did he say? Did I not
He
hear
just
it?
said Queen Flair.
Oh.
Like he forgot Charlotte's name.
He pulled an Eva Marie. I didn't even notice that. I must have been not paying attention.
Also, why did we show Ric Flair backstage and not have Rick come out to the ring?
That was very confusing. Well, you know the reason.
Well, Rick is, look.
No.
What?
The reason is because he just said that he was going to war with WWE, remember?
Oh, he did?
Remember he went to TMZ and said that he was...
Oh, I didn't remember.
That he had sent a legal letter that he was going to take legal action against them for... Oh, no. Sorry. He said that he trademarked the name, the nickname The Man because he is the man, and then apparently he went to WWE and said he wants tons of money for them to use it, and it was a whole thing that was all over TMZ.
Oh, I missed that part.
And then it's weeks later he's just
yeah, but
styling and profiling backstage real fast, and you know they did work. It's cool.
And if you're only going to do that, do it at Clash of Champions.
True.
Where it would have made sense.
Yes.
It would have made way more sense. I get Offset has the song Ric Flair Drip, which, by the way,
I'm guessing he was also local, though. I'm guessing he was
Flair
probably
lives in Atlanta.
No.
Offset is from Atlanta. I know that.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but Flair being there. Flair is the other issue I'm having. Offset, I get.
Flair will come if they tell him to.
Flair is I get to be on T. Woo! That's another payment.
Light up the jet.
Light up the jet and take this for alimony payment. But I just understand. I was like, why show Flair without bringing Flair out?
Yeah. Well, it seemed like they wanted to just make a bigger deal of Charlotte. It honestly seemed like they're trying to push more heavily into Charlotte turning face. And so it's you give her Rick, she already saved the day on Raw. Now she's there's Rick. You love Ric Flair and his daughter. And then it's remember Little Nate? Little Nate is there too for Charlotte. And then it's oh yeah, by the way, most relevant hip hop artist we've probably ever had on WWE TV.
Not Pitbull.
Well, at least at the time, I realize that Pitbull is a very known person. But at the time, I feel like this is probably...
The Migos are the biggest thing out of Atlanta in the city where you're in. Yeah. It works with a Ric Flair robe on.
Exactly. I was I think that was the purpose, was to be get some of that Offset love to Charlotte.
Have you seen the video of Ric Flair drip?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, when Ric Flair was actually in the video, I was like, we really got Flair on a rooftop in a rap video, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I remember someone tried to tell me that Ric Flair wasn't a pop culture icon once, and then when that video came out, I was like, really? You're going to try and tell me now that he's not a pop culture icon?
I mean, you see it in sports locker rooms after teams win the game. Everybody's strutting. But it was just, the match itself was weird too.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah, it wasn't the match I thought I expected it to be.
And I'm wondering, is it that they tamed them down?
I think it was. That's the vibe I get.
Because we know for a fact...
Open the door back there?
Yeah, somebody just opened the door.
Hello? Can I help you?
Yes.
Who are you?
My name's Tommy, Erick, Mark's Watch.
Who is this? Hey, we're recording something. I think you're in the wrong room.
All right, sorry.
So on this side, right?
Oh.
And now that. I want this to stay in the bloopers.
Were you here for Flair?
Yes.
Hey, you should go back over.
Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, we're not live, but I'll edit that out. It's funny, my first day here, I did that. I walked in while they were recording something, and I was like, sorry. Hello. I think they were. I'm gonna leave all that in because it was awkward as fuck, and I think it's funny. So
I just was like, I hope this stays in.
Yeah, I'm staying. I'm leaving it in. Sorry for the podcast listeners. That's gonna be a little more confusing, but I'm sure you'll like our feared faces when all of a sudden the door behind us opened from the outdoors. That's supposed to be locked.
Terrifying.
Very terrifying. I was going around God, I hope this guy doesn't have a knife or something. Like some homeless guy with a knife.
If Ryan would have died, I would have just kindly got up, gingerly, grabbed my laptop, and be like, what's happening in the studio? Oh, Ryan's being murdered.
At least it would have been on at least it would have been filmed.
I mean, we'd have had all, man, this would have went viral.
That would have been like some Scream shit right
yes,
there.
it would.
But yes, I think they held back a little bit because I think that, these two can go. I don't think they needed to go full force.
But the problem is, too, is it diminishes Sasha a little bit. Because I get who Charlotte is. Sasha's this new heel who has this new, more aggressive streak. Charlotte was putting all types of heat on her, will shine on her. And I was like, wait, this should go back and forth a little bit. If you're going to have it get thrown out by DQ with Bailey at the end anyway, have it go back and forth. Not having Charlotte just overtake the match. Because by that case, you could have just had her eliminate Bailey, then get the pin.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I feel like they should be giving Sasha a little... because they feel like they're protecting Sasha still because they're doing like DQ finishes and stuff like that to kind of go around her actually losing. But I would like to see them give her wins.
Or
this new edge should have been the birth of the
new
stronger
yes.
Sasha Banks.
And also, if you're going to play the sniveling coward heel, which it seems like that's what they're playing with her, then make it seem like that. Don't have her, make it consistently seem like that. Because we keep seeing her grabbing chairs, like coming up strong and not backing down. If she's going to play the sniveling coward heel, you get a chair, drop it, roll out the ring.
Yep.
Things like that. They're not doing this. It's not consistent with Sasha right now.
Yep.
And so we have to have this leading up to a Hell in a Cell match with Becky Lynch where she's more than likely going to lose.
Yep. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. Well, wait, who's going to likely lose?
Sasha.
I think Sasha's going to win.
You think Sasha finally, because she was she lost the first one. Yeah, she lost the first one when she was in it. Okay, it would make sense. Okay.
I think that Sasha wins. I think Becky's going to get switched to SmackDown. So because of that, I think that they
Okay, I can see that. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I think they want Becky on
They need
SmackDown.
her. They need her on it.
I think so.
You need star power on SmackDown. You
That's what
don't.
I think.
Unfortunately,
I think Becky and Seth go to SmackDown.
Yeah. Ooh.
And that's why The Fiend wins the title. And that's why they did that.
But who becomes your top?
Because who else? Let's say Seth was going to Raw. Or sorry. Let's say Seth was going to SmackDown. They knew this, right? Is there anyone else that really could have been believably the champion? I guess Braun. But The Fiend is like the hottest thing in wrestling.
Yeah.
Why not just say, we're moving over anyways. Let's just try it. Fuck it.
Just pull the trigger on it. But also, I'm trying to think. I can see both of them because they're going to stay together. That's a power couple like Charlotte and Andrade, where one goes, the other goes. No matter.
Do you think if? No, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
that's a power couple move.
Yeah.
Where one goes, the other go. You are not. And also they've made sure. This is one thing I commend the WWE on doing. They try their hardest not to split up relationships.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they wouldn't have cared.
No,
they try their hardest not to split up relationships. So the question becomes, once you say Seth goes to SmackDown, who becomes their top babyface? Because if for damn sure ain't Braun Strowman
on the Raw side of things. It's a good question.
It for damn sure is not. And it can't be Ricochet after what they did Monday night.
I think you move someone from SmackDown over that fills that role. But
Okay.
I just don't know who. I'm trying to think of just like someone that comes to mind. If the vibe I am getting,
You get Kevin Owens?
the vibe. Well, I was gonna say the vibe I am getting, and this is just me speculating, obviously, but like it feels to me like SmackDown is going to be the new A show akin to Raw.
Of course.
And that Raw is going to become the edgiest it can be in the TV 14 realm, while also showcasing things you haven't, younger talent. I don't want to say younger, but different
Emerging
things.
talent.
Emerging talent, or just different things. Like SmackDown's going to be the stars.
Oh, yeah.
I think Raw is going to be a bit more experimental. I think going forward, I think that's why there's going to be this announcer. I think there's going to be announcer change. I think there's going to be The Fiend as like this horror movie. I think we're going to see new,
and it'll work.
edgier
And I
adult
believe it'll
content.
work on SmackDown because not SmackDown, excuse me, Raw because of Heyman.
Yes.
It's just when it comes to SmackDown, you put the star power behind it because you need the viewership, of course, but also your leadership in the back. It's Bischoff, Michael Hayes, and I forgot who else it is. That is
Koski, Bischoff, Hayes, Pritchard.
that is not as comforting as it should be.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. To hear those are the guys who are going to run SmackDown when it goes live to Fox, that is not as comforting. As much people want to say, well, Bischoff had WCW and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but this is something different. This is something completely different. But when you put this, Becky goes to SmackDown, where she works at. She's from SmackDown. Boom. Brock stays on SmackDown. You need that. Now you're building all this up. And then you go back to the whole Sasha Banks thing. Sasha stays on Raw. Do you eventually split her and Bailey up for good? Or do you put them together on the show?
I feel like you got to put them together on the same show.
Because it's the only way this thing works.
Yes.
Because now with this brand exclusivity thing we have going on, you got to have Bailey follow Sasha no matter where she goes.
Yep.
So we'll see.
No, I agree. I think Raw will become more of the guys who were called up from NXT that are maybe dwindling a little bit. I think to fill that role that you were talking about, we might see maybe a push of like an Aleister Black. Like that's who I could see filling that void for a little while. He goes like, who he's been calling for someone to knock on his door. I feel like it's only a matter of time before the Fiend knocks on his door or something along those lines. Or I don't know. But I feel like Andrade, Aleister, Zelina, feel like they'll be put on Raw. I think Heyman knows what to do with those guys better than the others.
I can see that.
And I bet you we could see a push of Aleister Black as one of the top guys.
Yeah, but if Andrade goes, Charlotte goes.
That's a good point.
Remember, when I say power couples, I'm talking Becky and Seth, Charlotte and Andrade. You can look at me. Some people probably looking at the screen or listening to the podcast going, power couple. Yes.
Oh, yeah, they are.
They are definitely a power couple.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I feel like Andrade has to switch. That was so hard. Honestly, I got to do one of those fantasy draft things.
It works too because it makes it easier for Charlotte to get her 10.
That's true too.
It makes Charlotte easier to get her 10 on Raw.
Well, I don't. That's tough. I feel like Charlotte excels on SmackDown. She does. She's been really good on SmackDown.
She's been great on SmackDown. Remember, she was on Raw for a point in time, but she has excelled on SmackDown.
Yeah. All right. This is so tough. I don't know how honestly, I would lose my mind trying to do one of these. I mean, it'd be fun, but so Carmella came in there at the end of the match and gets involved. Very random. I mean, I know that if you follow them on social media and you've been following them, you know that there's a Baymella and Bailey and Carmella are friends, and now Bailey's gonna have to be caught in between the two people she's most friendly with. But I feel like that's such a deep thing that if you aren't big fans of theirs, you are not super aware of.
That's like the whole when they take angles from Total Divas. And try to weave them in.
Yeah, those are ones I follow too, but yeah.
But you get what I'm saying? You take those, yes, and we both just basically admitted, we watch Total Divas. But it's certain things you have to follow them on the outside.
Yes.
And I understand too, they're hoping that because of the social media following that the WWE has garnered and the way they've built their social media reach, that a lot of their following who will come to watch the shows are now going to know, oh man, they're friends. But that was the problem. They said they were friends on the commentary, but they didn't bring up how we know about their friendship.
Yeah, I agree.
We don't know about the social media. So unless next week on SmackDown shows former Instagram posts, Twitter posts, and things like that, then you help build it up.
Bailey was my first friend when I got to NXT.
But also, nobody wants to see Bailey versus Carmella for the SmackDown Women's title.
Yeah. Yeah.
As much as I love what Carmella is doing with Truth, with the 24/7. I love what she was able to do when she had this title herself. But it was James Ellsworth helped because there were certain things.
Well, and also she had been doing her thing for a little while.
She had been doing her thing.
She's just been R-Truth's valet for the past 6 months.
She's been doing it right. And I'm not saying she needs somebody to bounce off of, but it helps boost what she can do up. Mm-hmm. She's good at what she does, but when she has somebody to bounce off of, Bailey's thing is now I'm the role model, which we all been seeing coming, but now her thing, her edge is switched to I'm Sasha's friend. I'm Sasha's friend. I'm Sasha's friend. And it's where are we going to go with this? Does this work to a feud where we're going to care about?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. No, I feel the exact same way about it. I have faith because I am happy to see other people getting an opportunity. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I agree with you. I felt like it was very out of left field. It was wait, what? Where's and why? What? She's just that's not the thing that she's been doing. Okay, all right. I just want to make sure we have a few extra minutes in here. What time are we doing this? What day? Today's the Wednesday. What's the 11:30? What is this Studio A? Ooh, I gotta get out of here. Shit. Okay. I'm gonna Baron Corbin, Chad Gable. I liked it. No.
You know what my thing is Corbin's King of the Ring going to be like his Money in the Bank win? Is going to be like everything else we built up for him just to say he has another title behind him?
I thought the same thing. Actually, I enjoyed it. I actually
that
enjoyed
was
this whole segment.
my main thought I wanted to say was that is Corbin's King of the Ring just a thing? Because I know everybody else who's been King of the Ring that they talk about have gone on to do great things, and I understand that Baron Corbin losing Money in the Bank was due to Baron Corbin's own thing when he talked a lot of shit about Dave Prazak.
Or Dave Meltzer, you mean?
Dave Meltzer, excuse me, Meltzer. But is this just going to be something for them to do? Just say, okay, you're King of the Ring, good.
I honestly felt the same way watching this. I enjoyed it. I thought he played his part well, but I felt the same way. I was like, it kind of felt like a retread of when he was Money in the Bank holder, you know? I felt the same way, but I did like his cockiness. His cockiness made me laugh. Like his promo, the stuff that he was saying did make me laugh. Even when he was making fun of Chad Gable and stuff, I laughed. And Chad Gable coming out and just like not taking it and just ruining the set, I was into it.
Yeah, I guess.
Our next we had Heavy Machinery and the B Team.
No, nobody cares about this. Can we go on from there?
Yes, we can. I was going to say the same thing. So then Daniel comes out. He says, Rowan, talk about Rowan said people didn't see him. That's a lie. He saw Erick Rowan and his talent and his intelligence. He said he always thought of Rowan as an equal, and he still thinks that Rowan is his friend. Rowan comes out, says they were never equals. You always had me stand behind you. I'm no longer gonna allow myself to get disrespected. And then Brian gets all fired up and he says, well, if you feel disrespected, do something about it. And he basically says that nothing he could do to him physically would amount to the breaking of their friendship and betrayal. And he does like this thing, which was very reminiscent of when he was in the Wyatt family and he dropped to his knees for the Wyatt family. And Rowan will stand there. Then Harper hits him from behind. They start beating up Daniel Bryan. Roman Reigns comes out. Superman punch, of course.
Which, by the way, he ran past Harper.
Honestly, anytime he runs to the ring to do the Superman punch, it makes me laugh because for some reason it's like he's an actual superhero and he's oblivious to everyone. Like the fact that Rowan stood there for so long again waiting for him to come out and still gets punched is the craziest thing to me.
You don't stand there and wait. That's what it is. Thank you, Brain. He's reminding me of Nathan Jones. Some of the things Nathan Jones used to do. Please go watch Nathan Jones' early matches. He would do stuff like that, just stand there like this. Come on, you know what Roman Reigns is going to do.
You know what he's gonna do.
You can't say, oh, well, he's gonna believe he's gonna do something else. Roman Reigns does 5 things, ladies and gentlemen. 5.
I said the same thing to Roka last week, and we're here again. I said the same. I was like, he stood there waiting for himself to get punched. I'll take it 1 week, but now it's the second week, and I'm like, can't they make Rowan look a little smarter?
Also, Roman Reigns runs right past. This is Luke Harper in the middle of the ramp. This is Roman Reigns. All right, I'm gonna go past you. Like what? If I'm Luke Harper, I'm booting him in the face. He's not supposed to get clothesline. He's not supposed to get past you. It makes no sense.
Those are tiny things that also drive me crazy, and I don't know if it's like a producer in me or what, but I just go like, that would never happen.
Well, for me as a wrestler, one of the things I do, like I just had my match Saturday when I was working PBA, and one of the things me and all of the guys talk about is ring psychology, whether it's a match or different things, the segments you're setting up. Things should make sense. Yeah. We want the fans to believe this. I am not going to believe that Roman Reigns is going to see a 7-footer stand in front of him, just run to the side. The 7-footer is just going to be like, and that's it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But clearly the WWE was like...
It always reminds me of that scene in Austin Powers where the guys come in with the steamroller and the steamroller's coming in and the guy's like, no!
For the whole long time.
For like 5 minutes or whatever. He's like, oh! It's like... it makes up every time Roman Reigns does that. And I get that it's his thing, but it cracks me up every time because you're just like, why wouldn't you just stand right at the ropes? Just go stand the ropes. How's he gonna? He's gonna scoot in under your legs. Just cut him off so he doesn't have that run-in time. Think of some kind of strategy against this Superman punch. Okay, sorry. But then, so he comes in, he attacks. They beat him up. Then They then beat up Daniel Bryan again, and they powerbomb him through the table. Also, they beat up a bunch of security guards, and that's how the show ends. I did like that they made them look very strong at the end of the show. I like that Harper and Rowan are as strong as they were making them as the Bludgeon Brothers, but without the dumb hammer gimmick.
We are going to see a tag team match at Hell in a Cell with Luke Harper and Erick Rowan versus Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. Why do we need this? We don't at all, because now we have to see Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns act like a well-oiled machine. They're such a cohesive unit. You know that's what's about to happen, and it's going to piss me off. For the past several months, you've been okay. You didn't have the attack on me. Fine, we have a current enemy. But whatever. But still,
a piece of me thinks that he's gonna. This is all a trick, but they beat him up pretty hard, so I'm not sure. But a piece of me thinks that he's still the mastermind behind all of this. Because there was that announcement he was going to make that he never made.
Who's your daddy?
All right, Jay Washington, we got to head out of here. Where can people find you on the internet?
Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington, MrJaywashington. YouTube.com/JAY Washington80. And the Matt Titan podcast, where I get you caught up on everything happening to Marvel and DC, live action and cinematic universes.
You also got a wrestling podcast too, don't you?
Catch me on the Wrestling Compadre Slamcast as well.
At Ryan Satin for me on social media, youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. That's where you can find all the videos that we do here on Wrestling Sheet, the Raw and SmackDown recaps, Wrestling Sheet Radio as well, ProWrestlingSheet.com. That's the website. But if you just want to listen to the audio shows that we do here, then go check out your favorite podcast platform and search for Wrestling Sheet Radio. Subscribe there. It helps out a lot. Okay, that's it. We're done. Officially tapping out for now. Until next time, stay out of the dirt and keep your eye on the sheet.
ProWrestlingSheet.com